Hey, welcome back to another RSG Lunch Stream. I'm Ranger J 1999. Welcome back to the show. Glad to have everybody here. Hope everybody had a wonderful Labor Day weekend. Hope everybody had lots of eating and stuff of that nature. So, let's introduce everybody, kind of get through the mechanisms and kind of get this going. If you guys are new to the lunch stream, the way it works is this is just us hanging out with you good folks for the next hour or so to bring you some entertainment in your day through the doldrums of your work schedule, whatever you may be up to, whether you're listening to us live or later on. We do this every Monday through Friday from 12 to 1. We didn't do it yesterday, of course, because it was Labor Day, and we don't do holidays. And that's because Finn said no. And speaking of Finn, Dr. Finn Medicine Woman, the Troll Extraordinaire, is here himself.
Crap. Hold on, I'm eating.
Really?
Give me a minute. I'm eating my lunch. Hold on.
Oh my god. Alright, we're going to skip retarded Finn and move on to someone that knows how to do a stream properly. And that's the soulless one, Stanley Red, who will be scooping up your questions today. What's going on, Gingivitis?
It's going good. Hope everyone had a good Labor Day.
Mm-hmm. Also joining us is the one and only Grim the Mechanic.
How's it going?
Hey. We also have the Stoner Jedi Xylo Takedown here.
What's up, everybody?
Are you at work or do you have the baby?
I'm with little man right now. He's running around in the walker.
Baby.
So if you hear him scream, I'm sorry.
You don't correct my apprentice. Train him well, Xylo. There will be a test afterwards. And also join us is the big deal himself, Grande Pappy Patron.
Oh, hello, I'm here.
Oh, I was about to say, that is the quietest I've ever heard Grande Pappy Patron before.
I know, right?
Grande.
Like, why, Grande? Why you act this way? So, mechanisms. Glad to have everybody back. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Obviously, you're watching this. You love the content that we're putting out. Please do. It really does help support us in a lot of ways. Also, give us a thumbs up on the channel or on the video if you could. It really spreads the word about what we're doing. If you haven't already checked out our Patreon, please do. We had some more people that gave the Patreon. Big shout out to them. I do want to shout out a big shout out to the Revenator who got me the Revan action figure, which now has a place of honor behind me. Sitting on top of my of my shelf next to the Revan picture. I'm gonna do something really cool with it temporarily. That's just sitting there like it is right now, but amazing. Thank you, Revenator. I really appreciate it. I already reached out to him, but I did want to shout him out on air. And thanks to everybody that have recently joined our Patreon. We had some gold, a gold member, some other people donate to the Patreon. Again, really support. Really appreciate the support, guys. You guys support us, so we'll keep putting out this great content for you guys. Alright, that's all the mechanisms. We got a roster review today. Dr. Finn, if you're done feeding your mouth, you want to get to it, or are you still eating?
You don't feed your mouth. You feed your belly. The mouth is just the conduit.
Shut up, Finn.
But it's true.
Answer my damn question.
I'm ready.
Okay.
Alright.
Alright, today we have Aperingo?
Yeah, Aperingo. Yep.
And they are in Star Wars. Halcones Galacticos.
Star Wars.
SW Halcones Galacticos. That just sounds cool. Galacticos. And the Galacticos far away. A young fiend who had never known love, found love with a pork. All right. What is old Ape Ringo looking for today?
So what he's looking for is a roster review for his arena team. He can get into the top 20, but once he gets into the top 20, he hits like Treya walls, so he's having a hard time kind of getting a little bit higher.
Sure.
So he wants us to kind of look at that. And I do want to, when we discuss that, I do want to shout out the community, because those of you guys that are listening to the lunch stream, you guys are providing a lot of feedback on potential teams that can beat Treya lead teams for me, as I haven't had much success with it, but it seems like some of you guys are, so we'll definitely point out some of those teams. Additionally, he's looking for Heroic Sith, so his guild isn't quite ready for Heroic Sith yet, but he's trying to prepare his roster. So we'll talk about how he can prepare for Heroic Sith, and then also how you can prepare as a guild in order to prepare for Heroic Sith. And then lastly, Zeta. So he has a few Zeta mats that are available, and so he's trying to figure out where he should put his Zetas.
All right. So someone was looking at his current roster with his ring team. He's running the standard JTR team with Thrawn and Kenobi, which is a fine team. But let's look at his Sith, see where he is at on his own Sith roster to see what he has.
So with that, let me start with some of the feedback that I've gotten from people. So the two in particular, I want to give a shout out to Sith Lord and Mikey, Mykee. They both kind of reached out to me because in the past you guys have heard that I always try to find a counter to the meta. And the big meta right now is the Traya lead. Emperor Palpatine lead, you can still do the CLS and Han combo, and you can get through Emperor Palpatine with Traya still pretty easy. But Traya lead kind of nullifies that one because once you buff Han, he does like no damage and you're not really doing anything. So that team doesn't particularly work. Danger Zone with Wedge and Biggs is an option against Traya lead. Thrawn plus Magma Trooper is another one, but those aren't super common characters. So Sith Lord pointed out, and when we look at a Sith, that the Emperor Palpatine with Vader, Nihilus, Scion, and Thrawn is a team you can use in order to beat the Traya lead teams. And he's been doing it pretty consistently. I haven't had as much success, but I was running a slower Vader. He was running a fast Vader, and I think that's one of the differences.
Yeah.
So we can look at that team first.
All right, let's look at. This roster looks pretty damn solid. I'm seeing a lot of Gear 12 and the right characters. So let's filter this. I want to look at the Sith first.
Also, GG's a little messed up.
I know it is.
Yeah, it's outdated by a few days and everything. So as far as we know, he has like 8 more Gear 12s and like 3 more Zetas.
We have no idea. I mean, other than Traya, man, if he unlocks Traya, he is going to be golden. He's already got Scion, Nihilus, and Sith Trooper Gear 12. Jesus. So, Savior, they're not doing Heroic Sith, so that kind of sucks.
And we'll look at that next in terms of what he can do to prepare for that. But
well, I mean,
his roster is solid.
His roster is solid. It just doesn't have Traya, which is, I mean, this is a really good roster. To have these Sith done, I mean,
I'm afraid to ask, Grande, do you want to take a look at his mods?
Oh,
yeah. Let me look real quick. So,
because I think this may be a mod issue. Just kind of looking at it a little bit. Because I mean, he has the characters. He could be running. I mean, Jedi Training Rey isn't the best team to be running right now. She's just weak in arena. So at least in the older arenas, in the younger arenas, you may be able to still utilize her in older arenas, which it looks like he is since he's 3 million, and doesn't look like he might be spending some money here and there. He has a 6-star Bastila, so he might be kind of like a minimal spender, not a whale spender. So
looking at his Empire team. Because I'm also thinking Territory Wars stuff too.
And all of his speed mods are on decent characters.
Okay.
You know, I mean, I'm looking at it now. I mean, he's got, his high teens mods are all on Thrawn, JTR, BB-8. I mean, that all makes sense.
He's on the call with us, by the way, in Skype. He's not talking. He's just kind of typing with us there. So he just said that he's in his arena, he tends to drop more with Palpatine lead than with Rey. If you want to do that, that's fine. Remember that there's nothing wrong with having a climbing team and then a defense team.
Sure.
Agreed.
So, looking at his Empire team, he's really, really... I'm just looking at stuff for the future for him. He has the right pieces done. Shore's Gear 12, Vader's 12, Death Trooper's 12...
some characters, he's more stacked than me.
Yeah.
One
character I do want you to work, 2 characters you need to work on, because outside of Arena, Territory Wars, you're going to face a lot of Traya walls, and one team that can do it is Thrawn, Magma Trooper. I throw Imperial Probe Droid in there because that's an automatic other kill. So, there's different combinations. People use different stuff, but basically Thrawn and Magma Trooper. And
one thing of caution really quick with that, Ranger. Imperial Probe Droid used to be an instant kill. So remember that Imperial Probe Droid doesn't do an insta-kill. He does 99,999 damage.
Yeah.
With the
means
new
it's
Mod
not an
6E,
Yeah.
you don't necessarily get a kill.
Well, you go after like their Trey or their Nihilist.
Yeah,
they gotta have no
Trey
damn
that have
100,000
help.
plus.
You're gonna
stuff.
have a hard time against Nihilus.
Nihilus and Scion and Sith Trooper will probably not die, and I've seen some Treyas that go above that. Once you get to 16,
you don't use it right off the bat. What
Trooper.
I'll do is I'll sit there and twiddle them down.
You have to wear them down a little bit.
Yeah, you wear them down just a little bit, and then it's like, all right, Pro Droid, I'm sick of you. Get in there, blow up somebody,
Yep.
Boom, and then you're like, well, there's Trey dead.
Yeah,
and then
nobody.
You just keep
So
focusing
nobody has 100K, I don't think, in health, right?
Yeah, I've seen a couple Scions, but I hit him a couple times, like with my Magma Trooper today, and I'm like, okay, now and go kill him, then dead. You know,
I think you'd almost do better. You'd almost do better with Magma on that team and Thrawn and a little bit more survivability.
that's what I'm saying. I had Thrawn and Magma with Imperial Probe Droid.
You could do that. I mean, there's a guy who climbs up in my arena every day. Let me go.
But he needs a 7-star his Probe Droid, which is only Gear 7, and he needs to work on his Magma. This is just for future stuff because he's got the pieces.
This guy takes first with Thrawn, Nest, CLS, Scion, and Magma Trooper.
Yeah, I could see that.
Not
easily.
Scion, Nihilus. So he runs tankless and can tank first on offense. He's running Thrawn, Nest, CLS, Magma Trooper, and Nihilus. And his speeds are good, but they're not like crazy. You know, he's got 120
solid. God dang. Yeah, Night Sisters are. That's your phase 14 there. Disgusting. Yeah, he's good.
And the other thing too with Night Sister, Night Sisters can beat that team, especially Mother if she's fast enough. But dadgum, you gotta put a bunch of work into her to get her to go super fast.
Yeah, Night Sisters for me are all accounts to everything but Traya. Just because with Traya lead, it just removes that damn plague, you know. So it's not ideal. It can work.
It if you get so much health, right? So
Right.
you gotta have high DPS with Mother to keep it up and going.
Mother.
Otherwise, it won't work. I mean, Scion can get 100% health. Traya can get 100% health. So, you gotta have her super fast.
Yeah.
To keep it on. Honestly, I think he works on that counter team, and I think he gets in a guild where he can get Traya. I mean, I know we've talked, and I hate to be the guy to tell you to move guilds, but it sure seems like that you have all the stuff to to get Traya shards and perform well in.
Yeah, I'm seeing all his teams. He's got whatever we wanted him to use right now. I'm just looking at his Jedi now. Night Sisters were super solid. He's got Chex Mix. I didn't even have to bother. He's got the JTR for Phase 1. He's got a 6-star Bastila Gear 11. Jesus Christ. He's got Hermit Yoda and Grandmaster Yoda. Oh,
his
Jesus.
guild's got almost the right amount of GP to do it, too. They're right on the cusp of having enough.
Yeah, he was saying they're just short on Jedi training Rays, and they're expecting to have enough when she returns next time, which is going to be next
They're right there, man. I mean, they're right there. Damn. Anyway, good. I mean, this
he
is
could run a Jedi team for Christ's sakes on Arena.
We run Bastila in Arena.
He could run Bastila, Hermit Yoda,
that's the shout out I want to give to
Ezra.
Mikey. So Mikey Mykee, he messaged me and said that he's able to beat Traya teams with the Jedi team with Bastila and that crew. And Aparengo just said that he now has Bastila at 7 stars.
Oh my God! Yeah, switch your team.
Yeah, I think Bastila is the way for him to go.
Yeah, I think so too.
He runs Hermit Yoda, Grandmaster Yoda, Bastila, and then he runs GK, and then we got Ezra.
He's Gear 12.
Ezra, or I've also seen it run with CLS, and I've seen it run with Fulcrum Ahsoka Tano.
You could do that. Ahsoka Tano gets so many buffs, and she hits
I'm just saying it depends
freaking
on
hard.
It depends on what you got, right? It depends on what you've got lined up. I mean, he has an Ezra that looks super great. That works out awesome for him. He could try CLS and see if CLS is a better choice. He could
CLS is a better choice if there's a Sith Trooper, because you need another taunt control.
Right.
So you can replace like a Kenobi or something with CLS. Or you can put in Kenobi if there's no CLS or something like that. So
ideally, you want to run it with Ezra to beat the trade team, because then you can use CLS like for Territory Wars and stuff. Now for Arena, you can use whatever if you want to go CLS, but for Territory Wars, run this team, and then you can run the Jedi or CLS with the Biggs Wedge combo with the OG Han, right? And there's that's another counter to Treya.
Again, that's the climbing team. You're not going to hold, which means
no. I'm thinking, for Arena straight up, he could run the Jedi team, not a problem with what he's got right now.
He could, but if he's on for his arena hour, he could run that team, and he'd probably be in the top 20 every day.
Yeah, you could easily, if you want to
sneak into the top 20. I mean, shard chats are a thing. You don't know how it goes, but if you sneak in there in the last 3 or 4 minutes, into the top 20, they're probably not going to say anything because they can't react that fast. You start going for higher than the top 20 on most shards, you might have a slight challenge.
Well, he said he used to be doing the top 10, but now he's just having difficulty. So I think it's just a matter of being able to get back in there, not necessarily the being accepted part. And he also said that when he's run Bastila, he's also noticed that he drops more, but he said it might be due to the fact that he doesn't have his best mods on Jedi, and that's probably what it is.
Well, yeah, you need your best mods.
Oh, he's got a bunch of 20s. He's got like 2 20s and some 19s.
And this is before slicing, so if he sliced something, it's possible he has higher too.
If he sliced it, he could have some. I mean, I've sliced and gotten 22s and 24s.
I've got nothing.
Yeah, I got a 25 and a 21. So
I've got nothing.
I've sliced them and gotten nothing except depression.
You just need to slice more. That's your problem.
Yeah, we're not slicing enough, Grande. Shut up.
No, I'm serious. You're not.
I'm slicing the hell out of stuff, Grande, and I'm going for my best mods.
How many 6 dots you got, bro?
Oh, I have none. I'm just trying to get the ones that I have.
You don't need 6 dots. You need 5 A's.
Yeah, I'm trying to get them to 5 A. It's like, well, if I get some speed bumps here, let me just slice this.
The first thing I did was slice my whole arena team up to 5A, right?
Well,
and then
I'm not spending a metric ton to get that many refreshes and stuff.
Well, there's no metric ton of spending. Come on now. I mean, I'm not doing the 400 crystal refreshes on mod energy.
Mm-hmm. Well,
I'm not. He's only doing the 50s, the 100s, and the 200s.
Correct. I'm only doing the 50s, the 100s, and the 200s. Come on.
Oh my god.
I don't normally refresh, but when I do,
I spend more than everyone else.
When I do
it until it doesn't let
Stay
me
thirsty,
anymore.
my friends. Oh my god.
But no, so I said this before. 6E seems to make an impact in ships.
Oh my
but
god!
But overall, you only gain like 1 speed or 2 speed from going to 6E, and so I would rather spend my efforts trying to get up to 5A and hitting that +3, +4, +5, +6.
You really think those other mods are making a difference in ships?
Finn.
Yeah, there is Loki was noticing that every 2 6E, your speed goes up by 1. And so once you get a whole set, your speed is about 3 speed higher than an equivalent ship with 5 A's. So
I just thought of our new commercial.
That's because Loki's doing even more than me.
Of course, it's Loki.
It's Loki. He's doing.
Loki accidentally got extra drops from the mods.
Of course he did.
He rolled and they accidentally gave him a full piece, so he just got.
You remember those Dos Equis commercials, like the most interesting man alive? We could do that with Grande. He once chased a chicken around with a coat because he could.
I wasn't always a big deal.
But when I do, I taste chickens.
Or you just like it's Dos Equis, but it's like he's the most interesting man alive. He once chased a chicken around with a coat because he could. Stay thirsty, my friends. Grande Patron. Yes, next commercial. I thought of it.
telling you.
But for heroic Sith, man, you were really good to go, man. You could
you're killing it. You're ready for heroic.
You're ready for heroic stuff,
He's
man.
definitely ready for P1. He's definitely ready for P2.
Yeah, he's got what he needs, man. I swear. I've looked at everything, and he's got all the teams.
What I don't understand,
teams he can run.
So here's something I don't understand, and he's in the chat, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, Apparengo. You said that your guild doesn't have enough Jedi training rays, and you're expecting that it'll be ready by the next time she comes, right?
You only need 25, right?
I'm looking at your guild, and you have about 25 Gear 12 Jedi training rays. So I'm not sure why your guild is not able to be heroic.
Maybe it's the other teams.
It may be the other teams, and then your guild needs, if it's really serious about getting heroic Sith down, it needs to make a concerted effort in order to get everyone on the same page and pushing.
Yeah,
because you do have enough.
A lot of doing heroic Sith, especially at the 117 million GP range, 120 million GP range. It's all about communication and about people doing chip damage at certain key intervals. So you have to have everybody run P1. You have to have everybody run their best team in P2. You have to have everybody run checks in P3. Then you have to have everybody run all their chip damage in P3. They're getting 100K. They're getting 50K. They're getting 70K. They're getting, 0.5%, 20 times, right? In P3, so that then you can have you have it done.
Okay,
part of it too is about learning the technique, right?
Yeah.
That's how. I mean, look, if you go in there and you go on auto in P1, you're going to do 500K with your Jedi training.
That's what he just said, actually.
Yeah.
So he said there's not enough gear, and some of his guys couldn't do more than 500K in P1. I think they're probably using a wrong squad.
They don't understand how the mechanics work, right? I mean, they don't understand when to be able to predict that Nihilus might annihilate. They don't understand how to save the heals. They don't have the speeds right so that they can save their heals. Or that's really the challenge, probably.
Yeah. I think your guild should be ready to actually do it. But I think that whoever has a phase 1 team, and we haven't even looked at the rest of the teams yet, but just looking at phase 1, since you mentioned that one, right? I think your guild needs to make sure that everyone knows what they need to do. Some of those videos that come out on YouTube with those big numbers, right? They can actually do a major disservice to your guild, especially when they're lower. And by that, I mean, one of the best scoring teams in phase 1 is the Jedi Training Ray, R2, BB-8, Scavenger Ray, and Resistance Trooper. The problem is, if your Resistance Trooper and Jedi Training Ray are not Gear 12, they are not going to be pumping out enough damage, and they don't have the survivability in order to get to that same damage criteria.
Yep.
Meanwhile, if you just keep one of them, and I prefer Resistance Trooper because he does a Dispel with his special, which helps to remove anything that's left over on your characters when Nihilus attacks. Even if you put in a Zeta Barriss over Scavenger Ray because you don't have a Gear 12 Scavenger Ray, a Gear 11 Barriss with a Zeta can get you 5%. You need a little bit of RNG,
Barriss for a long time before I had an Archeota. I ran Barriss just to keep my Gear 11 Resistance Trooper alive. That was her whole job. Keep that dude alive. That's it.
Yeah, so he said that he's the guild leader and his officers and everything are working with clear directions and created videos, but there's some people that just didn't care to understand the mechanic. That becomes a bigger issue then, honestly.
Yeah.
That means that your guild is not... I know this isn't necessarily your roster review per se that we're discussing, right? But getting to Jedi training, getting through phase 1 and getting yourself Traya is an important part of the game right now. And if your guild isn't on the same page, that's not a good sign.
Using Discord. So first of all, you got to use Discord, right? 100% participation in Discord. If someone is still using it, you can't explain these techniques in-game chat. That's really difficult. I couldn't, if I had no Discord and I was not studying on my own, I wouldn't be able to get these techniques. And in-game chat goes away after 50 lines of text. So unless they're taking screenshots and remembering, they're not going to get it.
I blame Finn.
Yeah, so in terms of hierarchy, right? In terms of damage, Scavenger Ray will basically get you the most damage. Visa Smar will get you the next, then Hermit Yoda, then Barris. But Scavenger Ray needs to be gear 12. If Scavenger Ray is not gear 12, she'll be your worst damage dealer. And so then you want to work up the hierarchy to what you have. And if you use a Hermit Yoda instead of a Barris, right, it's really important that your Hermit Yoda escapes. That way you can use Hermit Yoda in phase 2 because Hermit Yoda is really important in phase 2. So there are some different mechanics, and I'm sure that you're kind of going over it with your guild, but they need to make sure that they understand the mechanic and just make a really simple rule. If you have 25 people doing Jedi Training Ray that have Jedi Training Ray, right? Failed attempts at Heroic Sith are fine. You want to see progress every time you do it, though. And just make sure people know, you're doing this. We don't want anyone posting below 4% damage. So this is the minimum that we're looking for damage-wise. If you do less than this, we're going to need to have a discussion. So go until you can't do anything else and try to get your 4%. And it'll force them to actually try and do it. But you have to really enforce it and make sure people know what they need to get and not just be oh, I can't get more than 500,000 without actually going through RNG and then just giving up because it hurts your guild. Right? So it's basically just getting everyone on the same page. You're in a position where you can start getting Treya right now, honestly.
Right.
If everyone's roster is kind of similar to yours, you have enough Jedi Training Rays. Your phase 2, phase 3, and phase 4 are solid. So I'm not too worried about you putting out the damage. And I'm assuming other people in your guild are probably working on the same thing. But I think there needs to be some kind of enforcement in pushing them in order to learn, because you can't let them settle for 500k. That's when the problems will start coming. So that being said, we've talked about Heroic Sith, we've talked about his arena, and basically you want to go to, I think we're in agreement, right? His Jedi are probably the best ones. When you're doing speed, you want to make sure Hermit Yoda is the fastest. You'll do Master's training on Grandmaster Yoda. He does his basic, he'll gain turn meter, and then he'll go next. So you want Grandmaster Yoda fast, doesn't need to be the fastest. The rest of them will all be kind of fast. Bastila is definitely fast and tanky a little bit. Ezra, a little bit more damage with whatever speed you can get, and then depending on what you use as a fifth, CLS can be damage, speed, and Kenobi can just be tanky as hell. So I think that will get you through the Treya teams. And Grandmaster Yoda, if you use him correctly, can take out an Enfys. Once you buff him with Bastila, and if you do the special on Enfys, Grandmaster Yoda is disgusting. So I think you can beat Treya teams with your Jedi once you properly mod them.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll last on DP too.
I bet he's top 50 in ships just by scrolling through ships.
Yeah.
He's actually higher.
Good.
He can climb to the number 1 spot if he focuses, he said.
Whoop, whoop. Okay.
So, that's good.
All right. And if you have more questions...
He has one other thing. His Zetas.
Oh, yeah.
So let me bring up his Zetas right now. So his Zetas, he has Fulcrum Ahsoka, he has Double Zeta Asajj, he has Bastila Lead, he has Roll with the Punches on BB-8, It Binds All Things on CLS, he has Maul, he has Nihilus, he has Scion, he has Vader, he has Double on Palpatine, he has Ezra, Finn, Veers, Double Zeta Thrawn, Han Solo, Strength Flows on Hermit Yoda, Kanan, he has Merciless Pursuit on Kylo Ren, so no Scarred. He has regular Kylo Ren. He has Double Zeta Talzin, Double Zeta R2, Leader on Jedi Training Rey, Sabine, Savage, and Stormtrooper Han. So he doesn't have anything that I can see as crucial that he's missing. He was asking about Cornered Beast. Cornered Beast doesn't really help you in the raid. It's an arena Zeta. It's a good Zeta, though, but it's not a huge benefit in the raid. You can if you want, but you're not really landing a lot of debuffs. So if you want to do Wampa, it's kind of up to you. He was also thinking about Bosk, Nest, and Aura Sing when she's in shipments. So I wouldn't even worry about Aura Sing right now. You're kind of far away. Where's his Bosk and where's his Nest? We go to his Scoundrels. Okay, so his Nest is 5-star gear 11. So he could potentially put a Zeta on her for Arena. And his Bosk is 4-star gear 9. So I wouldn't touch Bosk with the Zeta yet.
Definitely Nest.
But if you're switching to Jedi, right, there's not really a point to it yet. So I would say just save him. Unless you guys see something else that he could use it on. Maybe Scarred on Kylo Ren.
You want Scarred on Kylo Ren.
And he didn't have First Order Stormtrooper. So if you really want to round out your First Order team, those would probably be your next two. And then your First Order would be done. But I don't think I would touch... I wouldn't touch Enfys yet, because if you switch to Jedi, you're not going to have a use for that Zeta. It'll be kind of just sitting there. And Wampa, you don't really need for Heroic Sith. And Bosk, your Bosk isn't ready yet for the Bounty Hunters. So I think First Order Stormtrooper and Scarred are the next ones. Do you guys see any other Zeta potentially he could use? I mean, he doesn't have Barriss, but...
I'm okay with that.
Yeah. I'm totally
Where is his Barriss? His Barriss is gear 8, 7-star. So maybe a character you want to work on potentially. She's a really good character, and once you put a Zeta on her, she's one of those like always useful characters, just because of her healing ability off turn. So, and crit always being kind of a part of the game. So Barriss is a nice character to have as a utility, but again, you're not going to use her immediately, so you don't have to put a Zeta on her. But just another character to potentially work on.
All right. And Ape Ringo, if you have any more questions for us, you know where to find us in our Discord. And we encourage everybody to come to our Discord. Great community, tons of people that can answer any of your Star Wars Galaxy Heroes questions. All right, now that we've done that, let's get into weird news. We usually do weird news Mondays, but I guess we're doing weird news Tuesday. So we'll go to the first one. Student fake poster hangs at McDonald's for months. What? Wait. A Texas student who noticed a blank wall at his local McDonald's made a fake advertisement and hung it in the eatery where it was unnoticed for months. The University of Houston student, identified only as Jeff M., said he wanted to boost Asian representation in the advertisement posters hanging at the McDonald's in Pearland, so he and a friend put themselves in a fake poster highlighting the eatery's fries. Jeff posted a video to YouTube showing how he and his friend used a McDonald's uniform they found at a thrift shop to disguise themselves as employees and hang the poster on the blank wall. The student posted a photo to Twitter showing the poster still hanging inside the store 51 days after the prank began. It was unclear whether McDonald's knew the poster's origins or if the eatery would allow it to remain. Why do this? I guess. I mean, Jesus. Talk about being bored. What do you want to do, man? Well, let's mess with McDonald's. Cool.
Hey, if he's like a journalism student or something, that's pretty much free advertising for himself.
Mm-hmm. Not too shabby. You gotta
So he's a marketing guy, maybe.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I made a McDonald's cart commercial when I was in college.
Yep.
I made a print ad. But besides that, hey, you know what'd be cool, man? Let's go to Kinko's and let's
make a poster of ourselves with McDonald's and just hang it somewhere.
Awkward. Yeah. I mean, at least choose something like, more upscale, like Chipotle or Target. I mean, come on, man.
Though they might actually know what's going on. That's It's how many times, and I've done this a few times now, how many times have you seen an advertisement for like a special at a restaurant, like a fast food chain, that's supposed to go into effect like the next day, right? But I forgot that it's like the next day, so I go there and I ask, and they have like no idea what the special is. They're like, oh, I have no idea what you're talking about. And then the next day, like, oh, they just told us this morning that, yeah, that's happening now. It's like, they know nothing. They don't pay attention to like anything going on. They know how to push the buttons for the most part, and then just don't give a crap. about the rest of it. It's pretty funny.
Push the buttons. And it's a picture too, right? It's a picture of a hamburger. That's what they.
Some of them, yeah. Some of them are pictures, some of them are text, just to make it simpler.
They replaced like the QWERTY keyboard with like a picture of a hamburger.
All right, let's move on to the next one. Shoe store burglar steals several right foot shoes. Really?
Well,
A burglar broke into a Virginia shoe store
the movie. My left foot. That was the reason why.
and took several sneakers that were all for the right foot. It's not clear the thief meant to take only right-footed sneakers or was too much in a hurry to notice on the night of August 25th. But Rob Wickman, a proprietor of Clean Soles in Roanoke, Virginia, said he lost 13 right-footed shoes for what seems to be no reason at all, since they're not much good unless you have, as in quotes, unless you have two right feet. Pretty much risking their freedom for nothing, Wickman told the Roanoke Times. The thief did manage to take a few things that could be used, including one whole pair of sneakers and a few shirts and hoodies. But Wickman is still dumbfounded by why somebody would bother breaking into a store to take several right-footed sneakers off the display shelf. What was the point of grabbing one shoe off the shelf, he told NPR. God. Police are still looking for the suspect who was caught on video during the heist, but has had his or her face covered. This isn't the first time Clean Soles got right foot sneakers stolen. In July, 2 burglars broke in and conducted a similar operation, making out with the display items. Police have charged a 17-year-old for that incident. Really? Are we that stupid in this country that we don't know right foot from left foot? I mean,
No,
Jesus Christ.
it's not that.
Just wanted to get off on the right foot. That's all it was.
How mentally broken
I don't
and
think it's
dumb
that.
are you? No, this is stupidity.
Have you gone into like a shoe store? They don't put like both the shoes up on display. They usually only
I know that. I know that.
So they only put the right. So he probably just grabbed that stuff because he couldn't figure out where the other shoe was.
Well, that's stupid. You don't even bother with that
I'm
stuff.
not saying it's smart, but I'm.
At least
Don't try to defend this, Finn. No, Finn. There's no defending this. It's mentally broken.
I think Infinity's right. If the shoe fits, wear it.
No, well, unless you have two right feet and are some mutant from the future. What in the hell?
We'll talk about a shoe story and Grande just loaded with puns.
Yeah.
As long as I'm not the heel of the joke, it doesn't matter.
Hey, maybe he only grabbed right shoes because he didn't know how to go around the corn.
Oh, God. Wow. So yeah, moving on from this, I'm not even going to let that build. All right, next one. Baboons and Paignton Zoo filmed flossing teeth with broom bristles and hair. Well, that's kind of cool. Baboons will pluck hair off other baboons and floss, which is pretty exciting, said Charlotte Morgan, who filmed the primates. An adult baboon and a youngster were observed showing the remarkable human behavior at Paignton Zoo environment in Devon by Charlotte Morgan and an animal behavior student at the University of Exeter. Ms. Morgan said past research at the zoo found that certain baboons use their own hair and bristles for broom heads. I have observed cases where baboons will pluck hair off other baboons and floss, which is pretty exciting, she added. The primates were first spotted flossing at the zoo a few years ago when a female hamadryas baboon was seen using a bristle from an old broom to floss. Previous studies have suggested that primates floss their teeth for hygienic and social purposes. Ms. Morgan, who is researching whether her personality is related to dental flossing activity in the troop, says there does appear to be a relationship between certain personality traits and dental flossing. From what I've observed, they start off by grooming themselves and then they pluck off their own hair and place it between their teeth, she added. With the broom heads, they usually play around with them and then pluck the bristles off the floss. Ms. Morgan said it was difficult to suggest exactly how the baboons had learned how to floss, but there may be a social learning element. Well, it gives us no excuse. If baboons are doing it, we need to be doing it too. But people forget that, like chimpanzees, we're only like 1-point-something% genetically different than them. I mean, other primates, it's a little bit more of a gap, but I mean, they're smart critters. They really are. Oh, God.
I think the baboons are having a big laugh out of this. Because chances are they're doing this in order to sharpen their teeth, and they're like, "Oh, these people are going to be stupid enough to come near me, and then I'll eat them."
They don't eat people, Finn. That's the dumbest thing
I'm just
I've ever
wondering.
said.
What would
I haven't
happen
gotten close enough to a baboon to check.
Oh, for God's
And I
sakes!
plucked one of her hairs, And I said, I need to floss. I'm not thinking that'd go over real well.
No,
Well,
probably not.
if you're a baboon, that works really well.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So, there you go. Floss your teeth. Baboons do it. Next one. Dottie the giraffe sculpture used as a battering ram and burglary. Oh my god. The giraffe sculpture named Dottie was part of a trial meant to raise money for a hospice and was badly damaged during the crime. A man has been arrested after a giraffe sculpture, which was part of a hospice fundraising bid, was used as a battering ram in a burglary. The charity piece, called Dottie, was one of 69 put up around Worcester as part of a walking trail to raise money for St. Richard's Hospice. West Mercia police tweeted a photograph of the statue detached from its base and leaning against the smashed window of a clothing store. It later said a 20-year-old man had been arrested following the incident and is now in custody. On their Facebook page, the organizers of St. Richard's Hospice Stand Tall campaign said Dottie had been badly damaged and would be removed from the trial. Unfortunately, she will not be returned to the trial, but we are doing everything we can to make sure she is ready to go back on display at our farewell event at Worcester calendar between 4 and 7 October, they said. Police said several items of clothing were missing and that the investigations were ongoing. The St. Richard's Worcester Stands Tall project has been a great addition to the Worcester during the summer, attracting lots of tourists and people to follow the trail. Or the trial. I don't know if it could be. Safe Neighborhood Inspector Tanya Becca said, I think it's trial. We even encourage people to enjoy the giraffe sculptures throughout the city, whilst remember they are planned to be auctioned off to raise funds for the Worcester-based hospice charity later this month. I mean, jeez.
At least it's for charity.
Yeah, they used the charity to break into somewhere to. What did they didn't even say what they stole?
Right-handed shoes.
Right. Okay, so this is what was
Right-handed
right.
shoes?
There.
Hello, right-handed shoes.
Those are called gloves, Grande.
My God.
Yeah, they just stole the right shoe from a bunch of different from a shoe store.
Oh my god!
And they needed some brooms so they could floss.
Oh my god! You know, I blame you, Finn, for this happening.
It's come full circle. I'm telling you.
All right, so
and you thought I was going to be quiet today and that something had happened.
Oh my god!
You remember that? Before the stream started, you thought I was going to be quiet and something had happened. I'm telling you. You know what happened?
Well, Ronnie, you need to take the kids out for some right-handed shoes. Ron.
You know I do this in real life too. I'm going to tell you.
I feel so bad for your kids.
I have to tell you. So Saturday, right? Saturday, we're having a great time. We're at this super nice park, and there's like a cookie store nearby, right? And so my wife says, hey, I want some cookies. And I was like, great. And the kids are like, oh, we'll walk from the park to the cookie store to get some cookies. And we're in there in line, and we're picking out our cookies, and a nice family comes in behind us. And the husband kind of real quietly looks at his wife, and then they look at the display cookie that they have on the shelf, and it says, happy birthday, Kyle. And he looks at his wife, and he says, man, I wish my name was Kyle. And I turned, and without missing a beat, I turned to the wife, and I looked at the wife, and I said, hey, make sure you're real nice to Kyle when you guys get home. and then later we got done with our cookies, and I said, make sure you treat Kyle nice whenever you get home. And she said, he actually said he should change his name to Summer, because they had another display that had a big, huge square cookie that said, have a great summer. And I was great. Now, the lady didn't realize who I was, but yesterday I went to the grocery store, and I'm walking up and down the aisles, and I see the same lady again. I don't even know her name. And I walked right up to her, and I said, I hope you treated Kyle Summer really good last night. And just walked away. And she just couldn't even believe that we had seen each other twice in 2 days.
All right. No, you're on a timeout, Grande.
She doubled over.
Someone give him a right-handed shoe to play with. God dang, I swear.
She doubled over laughing in the store when I did that.
Oh,
she
my
couldn't believe
God.
it. First, I recognized her, and then I pulled a joke out from yesterday
Oh,
and continued it on.
God. All right, next.
I cannot
All
make
right,
this
that's
stuff
enough out of
up.
you,
That
Grande. You're on a
really
timeout.
happened.
I have other things to read
That
here.
really happened. I'm
This is
telling you.
This one is a feel-good story.
All right,
This one's
woman
good.
discovers surprise gesture from neighbors in her garden after hearing loud banging noises. Antonia Nicole's neighbors went out of their way to help her out and didn't want anything in return. Let's see here. Get along with our neighbors isn't always easy, but it's great if you live next door to someone you can ask favors from, like picking up your post or borrowing basic bits and bobs. One woman tells the story of the sweet gesture her neighbors did for her, and she didn't even have to ask. Antonia Nicole, a firefighter who lives in London, said she went outside when she heard banging sounds in her garden, only to discover that her next-door neighbors had gone seriously out of the way to give her a hand. She wrote on Twitter, "Lots of banging noise outside. I find my Romanian neighbors have rebuilt my fence which had fallen down a while ago. When I offered money, beer as a gratitude, they said it was better to do nice things rather than expect something." She said, "Bloody foreigners coming here and building fences," she added. "Basic human decency comes from everywhere." The post was widely shared and received comments from people who thought it was a lovely and kind gesture to make. Antonia told the mayor, "The neighbors and I have always got on. We keep parcels for each other, chat on occasion. Part of the fence had been blown down a while ago. The neighbor knocked on the door and asked if I was okay if he fixed the fence for me, as he had a few friends around and they had tools to do the job properly. I said it would be great and I would pay for it to be done. They said it wouldn't take any money, so I offered beer and they declined too, so now I have a lovely fence properly fixed." People use Antonia's tweet as an opportunity to share their stories about their neighbors' relations. One person said, "There's a Polish family around the corner from my sister. When they mow their lawn, they also do the elderly couples next door to them." So there are really good people out there. This is a nice story. Grande, get out there and do some fence fixing.
You know, I always mow my neighbor's lawn whenever I'm mowing a lawn.
Are they an elderly couple?
Well, on one side they were. On the other side they weren't. I just mowed the lawn just because. Part of it is because I couldn't figure out where my property ended and their property started. So once you start, you just have to finish, you know? But part of it was because my foot hurt real bad because I was wearing that right shoe on my left foot.
Nobody's laughing, Grande. You.
I was laughing. I think it's funny.
You can laugh at your own stuff in your own time. Jesus.
I'm telling you, look, you got to be the first one to laugh because someone's got to start laughing for everyone else to start laughing.
That's not true,
what I mean?
Grande. That's not true.
Yeah.
That's just totally not true.
Okay.
All right, so those are our weird news stories for Tuesday. We went on a nice note. I give Finn credit for that. That was a nice story. I like that. You know, having good neighbors is always a good thing.
We have 12 minutos por preguntas. Or in English.
RSG Max. Question: why is it always Finnity's fault?
Question is, when is it not my fault?
Yeah, that's more.
It's just one of these things we do, right? It's I blame Finn. I mean, we have just these sayings we do all the time.
I mean, no,
it's because we're friends and it's funny.
Not sayings, Grande. This is scientifically researched. It's basically Finn's fault.
We're friends and we just say the same things all the time. It's just, it's like Ranger always has incontinence issues.
I just spilled orange soda on my carpet.
Oh, that's a party foul.
Not really. It's just orange soda.
It's just a drop. I'll have to use Resolve on it afterwards.
Yeah,
Next question.
Get some OxyClean. It'll
I
take it
blame
right back
Finn.
out.
I blame Finn for that.
Yeah, Finn's totally a butthole for that one.
Zylo1111. Question: how unprofessional is Finn for eating on stream?
Yeah, seriously.
It's a lunch stream. Deal with it. Next question.
Just totally unprofessional. I always wait till after the stream to eat. He's a very bad man.
This is why we can't have nice things.
Grim, you're right. You're absolutely right. Stoner, you agree with this, right? You should not eat while we were streaming. Did Stoner disappear?
I don't know. I mean, I'm in the air sometimes with that one. I mean, I'm just sitting in my corner.
Thanks, Stoner.
I'm just kidding.
Thanks, Stoner.
Yeah. Blame Finn. Blame Finn.
There you go. There, say you're learning.
Just for that, I took another bite.
Oh, God.
Captain Obvious, question, who said RSG could have Labor Day off?
We did.
The American government. That's
Yeah, suck it.
We're actually unionized here, just in case you didn't know.
Oh, God.
Okay, next question.
Kazakagi, too easy. Question, I want to Zeta either Hermit's strength through the Force or Old Ben's taunt. Will have another Zeta in a week. Hermit is 28 out of 100.
I'd probably do Hermit.
Yeah, I would too.
I'll do Hermit, but I may hold it for now.
I would too. I'd hold it.
Because there's a chance that the new Bounty Hunter or something is going to drop and may change Arena even with like a 3-star or 4-star or 5-star, whatever his release is. So I would just hold it for now.
But once you get a 7-star Hermit Yoda, I'd put it on.
Agreed.
LNX from UWOL Corellia and the GRDS. Question, assuming about 157 tunes, all with 6 mods on each, and a player wanting to do a full remodding on all of these tunes, how many credits would one need to save up before embarking on such an endeavor?
So I think you don't have to pull all the mods off. You need to go through and remod the way that we've discussed here. You don't actually pull all your mods off. You remod the characters that matter. Pulling all of your mods off and putting them all back on is a terrible idea. But if you were going to remod, I would say you probably need around 5 million to 7 million credits to remod.
For your entire roster?
Yeah.
I think it's more than that.
Not if you're just pulling and putting on a little bit at a time.
In total, though, right? If you're doing all, 170 something?
Yeah, but you're not actually going to remove all those mods.
Probably, yeah. If you're just looking at the territory war and Sith teams and arena, then you're not doing your entire roster. But if you're looking at your whole roster, you're probably looking close to 25 million?
Right, but nobody does it like that because that's a waste.
It is. Just saying.
Mr. Penny Pinch, question for Ranger. Busy today. Gonna send another care package your way, brother.
Hey, I'm always ready for care packages. I'll make time, god damn it.
Send me food.
No, don't send Finn anything, filthy bugger.
I like pizza. Sorry.
RSG Vormax, question, Finn. We are close to a full clear on Territory War. Please notify all guild members to log in and finish those 2 ship squads left.
Oh my god.
Oh man, I have to... Okay, so I hate this. So we did because of the schedule for Territory War and Territory Battle, right? We kind of made Territory Wars optional for people in the guild because you were going to burn out otherwise. If you didn't notice, Territory Battles is about to start in 5 minutes, and there's an hour where it's overlapping Territory War and Territory Battle. Mm-hmm. Phase 1 of Territory Battle is actually active during the attack phase of Territory War.
Yes, this is the first time this has ever happened.
But it's phase 1 of Territory Battles. I mean,
it is, but I mean that's phase 1 for us, right? Because we're higher level guilds. Lower level guilds some of them still struggle with phase 1. So,
really?
Yeah, if you're a low GP guild, I mean, you don't have to worry about deployment, which is nice. But I mean, there's people that still have issues with the initial battles. Huh? Because my alt is in a casual guild, right?
Your alt has nothing. Don't even bring your alt into this. That is no.
No, because it's in a starter guild. So Territory Battle starts and people don't even have
guild. That makes sense. But I mean, I don't think most.
No, I know. It depends on where you are, is all I'm saying. It's not just easy for everybody. It's easy for the majority, but
Rangers at a top 100, top 10, top 15 guild, and he's like, "What? It's so easy." Not everybody has the same perspective, though.
Well, I understand that, but I'm saying it's phase 1. It's not
right.
It's
but
phase
I mean,
5.
even that aside, right? The schedule for this month is going to cause burnout. Mm-hmm. So we made it so that territory battles, you need everybody. Unfortunately, there's not much you can do about that, right? But Territory War is supposed to scale if you don't have all your people, so it's a little bit easier to not have people sign up for Territory Wars than it is people absent for Territory Battles. And so we made territory wars kind of optional this month. If you don't want to burn out, if you want to take a break or something, we're fine with it because normally it is mandatory to sign up. So we had 42 out of 50 for this one, and part of it is some people didn't sign up, but there's also a lot of people reporting bugs about them signing up and not being added to territory battles.
Oh yeah, it was really weird this time because you had to click a grayed out button.
But there's some people that said they clicked it and they still didn't, like, they thought they were in and still weren't. Like, there's a lot of issues with this territory war.
I agree.
But what happened was we're at 42, right? 42 out of 50. So all the territories, we only had to put in 21 teams. Unfortunately, the guild that we're facing is a 125 million GP guild that doesn't have a single Treya, and only half their guild is in GG.
Oh, so you don't even know what they got, really?
No, they're stuck. Like, we're about to full clear them, right? We have 2 left in their ships. Everything else is cleared. So we have literally just 2 fleet left in order to full clear. They are stuck against our Palpatine wall and our Treya wall. And I mean, I feel bad. Like, this isn't... I mean, there's nothing we can do. We didn't force this matchup. But the matchup is so freaking uneven. Just because we didn't have 50. It's awful. And I know some of the other guilds are already doing that, right? Like, people are shifting around in order to go into lesser and stuff. And I mean, that's not... They're using the system that CG has designed. But this is really bad. Like, I actually feel bad during this war because they're not able to do anything. Like, some of them have like 7 attacks against the Treya team and haven't killed a single character. I mean, because we're much higher than where they are. We shouldn't be matched up against them. It's so sad.
Next question.
We don't have any other questions.
Oh,
but yeah, I don't think there should be overlapping territory battles and territory wars. It makes it impossible to move people around.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed. That's what she said.
I mean, I don't know what they can do to fix it, because I'm sure if you look at it like number-wise, their active GP is probably close to our active GP, but obviously the characters and stuff makes a big difference in what you're doing in territory wars.
Yeah.
So it's kind of sad, because we're going for a full clear, and we're going to probably end up winning by like 11,000, 12,000 points.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's bad.
I blame Fang.
I agree.
But this is one of those things, like, I can say, like, I can point out that it's wrong, but
and
solution. And it's hard to say without actually like testing and seeing how it works. But when people drop below like 50, like a full guild, or even up to like 48, there's a lot of issues with the matchmaking. So,
Nathaniel Morgan, question: when will they announce the September Legendary?
soon, TM. Now we looked at the calendar on the Wednesday stream, and it looks like that the next legendary, there may even be 2 legendaries, but there's kind of a big gap in legendaries right after R2, which happens in the middle of the month. And I think, I can't remember exactly, I think it was something around like the 15th or something is when the R2 event ends. So probably something right around there we'll get the next legendary. Because other than that, we get like back-to-back-to-back legendaries. I think it's Thrawn and Palpatine this month, something like that. So there's probably going to be another legendary right after the R2 event. Something like that.
Aramis Hernandez Carabola. Question, I just put this so you can keep talking.
I just what?
I just put this so you could keep talking. You don't have to scream that.
Okay, we have 1 left. Let's see if we get the full clear. This would be our first full clear victory, by the way. That's why everyone is kind of pushing for it.
Okay.
So we would get the 42 of us that are in there would get that achievement and get the general title tag. You guys are a lot higher. Full clears don't happen as often in the bottom when you're at 50. because you just don't have the depth. If you're putting solid defenses, you don't have the depth necessarily to push everything on offense.
Mhm.
And ships in particular tends to be the dissuading thing. Like, it's hard to beat the last if everyone puts their top teams. So we shall see. We have one fleet left. Man, and I was trying to see where these guys were, but they're also online, so I can't communicate with them. Ouchie saying don't feel bad. I do feel bad. It's not a fair matchup, and it's not fair. I mean, this game should be fun. There's no way this is fun for them. They pretty much all given up. It's sad. They're not even attacking anymore. They have like no chance. I think they don't have the teams in order to beat our Treyas. So they're stuck on a Traya wall and an Emperor Palpatine wall. I mean, they basically, I mean, they've given up. And I don't blame them. I would too. It's kind of silly, but I feel bad. I don't want to make the game not fun. Like, Territory War for me is like the most fun.
It's just one TW, Finity. Give it a breast.
But it's not like we have another Territory War to follow. They don't do the back, and there's like no break.
Hey, sometimes, Major League Baseball and Major League Football teams.
Major League Football teams? Jesus Christ, Grande.
Okay.
There's only so much I can take. The right-handed shoe is one thing, but come on.
I mean, National Football League and Major League Baseball and the National Basketball Association.
Thank you.
You get sometimes where one team, it's like 100-12, right? I mean, this happens with professionals.
That's never happened in baseball.
Yes, it has. You've had
There's never been 100 scored.
The most scored ever in a game, and it was like 26-23 was Philadelphia versus Chicago back in the day. That's it.
But then you can get a bunch of freaking scores.
Shut up, Graham. This is history.
You can get like
get
a
over
20-0,
yourself.
14-0 score.
That's more reasonable than 100. I love you, Grande.
You know what I'm saying, though.
Major League Football teams.
Major League Football is scoring 100 every other week.
I'm telling you,
and league mandated right-handed shoes.
And the National Basketball League.
No.
Go Cubs.
God. We just need to have. We need a new stream. Sports chat with Grande and Grim.
And the National Hockey Association.
Oh my God.
Can we do that? Can we do sports chat with Grande and Grim?
Oh God. I would do that.
That would be like the
I would
greatest thing
not
ever.
do that to Grim. It'd be Harry Carey and
I don't think
Grande.
I'm messing with you guys. I say stuff backwards on purpose.
Yeah, it's on purpose. Yeah, good call.
All right, let's end the stream. Let's end the stream.
I got 3 more questions here.
All right, let's go.
Andrew Sweeney, question: when is the RSG Atlanta meetup?
We're not shooting for an.
We're working on something.
Yeah, we're working on something
Soon,
else.
TM.
Yeah.
You guys.
We don't know yet. We're trying to see if we can get something together. So, stay tuned.
Stay tuned to you.
Nathaniel Morgan, question: why is Sanely Trooper not max gear with full 6E mods? Well, I got him gear 12 with 3 gear 12 pieces. And we just got the 6-star
Give the guy a
mods.
break.
Give him a break. Dang.
I gotta finish my arena team first.
Yeah, the important shit.
Give him a break. He just got that stuff. Come on.
Come on, man.
1073, question: did Grande just tell Finn to give it a breast?
Possibly.
I did tell Finity to give it a rest. Yes.
No, he didn't say rest. The question was with a B.
Breast.
No, I told him to give it a chicken breast. Give it a chicken breast.
Next question.
That's it.
All right, let's end the stream
Oh
now.
my God, I feel wrong in so many ways. I don't know what I'm doing anymore.
Yeah, but if it feels good, it can't be wrong.
Yeah, it doesn't feel right, Grande. Shut up. All right, so we're gonna end the stream there. Thank you guys for joining us today for the lunch stream. If you haven't already, please go ahead and hit the thumbs up. Make sure if you like the content and everything, you hit the subscribe button. All that helps support the channel. If you haven't already, you become a YouTube sponsor You can go to our Patreon. You can support us that way. We want to thank all of our Patreon sponsors so far. It really helps.
Come to
us.
Discord if you want a roster review.
Do you want to close this out, Grande, or should you let me finish?
I'm going to let you finish.
God damn, who gave him sugar? I swear, man. Jesus.
First time in a week, no children. I get excited sometimes.
Well, I mean, that's... But yes, come to our Discord, all that stuff. So thank you guys for stopping by on behalf of the crew. Enjoy the rest of your day. We will holler at you guys later. Peace.
See ya.